Now to a child safety alert about your kids in contact sports. How well do you know who is watching your child when he or she is in the game? Does anyone notice if they are hit too hard? Who makes the decision to pull your kid from the game to check on them? These are important questions you need to be asking now, especially since more than half, 62% of organized sports injuries happen during practice. So not even at the game, which you may be attending and you think you're watching. It ends up sending so many kids and teenagers to the emergency room, more than 1 million, in fact. Jim Mackey is a certified athletic trainer with the Jacksonville Sports Medicine Program. Jim, last hour, good morning to you. We shared this story with our viewers of Peyton Sapp. Loved playing football, quarterback. In fact, we've got some video, which I'll show you, of the concussion that he ended up sustaining. This is a photo of him in his uniform. But we've got video of him sustaining a concussion. He was never pulled from the field. I mean, is this a coaching problem?
It's a problem that coaches are distracted. Coaches are into the game. They're doing their job. They have a lot of responsibilities. That's why you need medical health care. You need certified athletic trainers on the field to watch what's going on, to keep an eye on people so that you can note those subtle signs and symptoms that may occur.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there was not a certified athletic trainer at his game. He played for a team down in Ocala. His injuries were so severe and his brain damage that he received that he actually contemplated suicide, and it's gone on for months and months. So there are important questions, Jim, that parents need to be asking their coach or their child's school. Let's start with them. One that you mentioned: who comprises school's sports medicine team? I think that people just assume that there's this, this gaggle of people who are there watching their child nonstop to make sure they're okay, and that's just not the case.
Right. Think about it. You would never drop your child off at a pool or the beach without a lifeguard present.
Right.
So why would you drop your kids off at a contact sport of any degree, soccer, lacrosse, football, and not have somebody that's trained and a team in place that has an emergency action plan, that's able to recognize those things, has the time to deal with them, and has the time to manage them properly when they happen, and in a follow-up manner as well, because some kids return to play too soon. They create further injuries, be it head injuries or be it any kind of injury, because they've returned too soon. And
it's interesting because you bring up really what the second question is what is that emergency action plan? And I never thought about it. It's a question of, okay, if my kid gets hurt, then what next? Right. You have to have any good program has a good venue-specific emergency action plan, and that consists of who's going to take care of what are the roles and responsibilities, who do we call, what equipment is available for us to use, how do people get to the right spot, because schools are big campuses. How do they get to the right spot as quickly as possible so that the best care is given quickly? And it's interesting because you have to ask that question also if your child is playing at a visitor, if the game's away. Exactly. It's not just what's happening at your child's school in particular. Third question, the equipment and sports facilities, are they checked frequently and in good shape? Excellent question, and one I'll bet parents don't think of asking. Right. The equipment has to be checked annually. The fields need to be checked. There are potholes. There's wires and fences, things like that kids could run into. There are just all kinds of accidents waiting to happen, so to speak. So is the equipment they actually put on and use, does it fit properly? Is it safe to use? So. And I want to bring this up, and we don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to show video of Jalen Ford, because this brings up another question, not necessarily about concussions or injuries on the field, but a lot of these players, and we talked to Jalen, you see he collapses there playing against Trinity Christian. He plays for Reball. This happened about a year and a half ago from heat exhaustion. He knew he wasn't feeling well, but didn't say anything. Thankfully, there was the athletic trainer there who helped him, but the reality is that part of this conversation parents need to have is also with their child. Hey, if you're not feeling well, speak up. Don't worry about being considered, quote, a wimp, and asking to be taken out of the game. Right. You've got to take the time to properly hydrate. You've got to be willing to, is there a culture of safety? Can you open up? Can you speak about how you feel without being put down by your peers or coaches or other parents even at times in that? But making sure those kids are properly hydrated, that the water is put in their face and not just near them so that they can access it. And heat illness is 100% preventable, we found out. So we can do the things, but we've got to get on the same page and realize that we've got to pre-hydrate those kids and then make
water and Gatorade, whatever, accessible throughout practices and educate.
And I know this has been a very big point of yours and Jacksonville Sports Medicine Program, and that is getting certified athletic trainers into all schools. A handful of them have them. You guys have worked hard to make that happen. It's very important. And you know what? It comes down to parents. Ask your school if they have one. If they don't, ask why. Thank you, Jim, for being here. I do appreciate it. We're